Hello and welcome to One for the Weekend podcast. We're back once again, and today I'm joined by Rory Big Dog Jennings.
I like that. Is that something we're going to cultivate?
Big Dog.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
100%.
I mean, it completely doesn't fit me, but I'm happy to try and wear it.
Well, I mean, it does fit you. I mean,
Big Dog.
I mean, it's ironic.
Oh yeah, for that.
But apt. You know,
Okay.
look, I could have said anything. I literally just made that up on the spot, and Big Dog is what I went for.
Okay, let's try and make that one stick.
For those that are listening and not watching on YouTube, would anyone else say Big Dog if they?
No, I don't. Of all of the words that would come into your head, I mean, the majority of them being offensive.
Yeah.
Big Dog is probably not me, but it's one I'd like to be me.
Yeah.
So let's go with it. If you can't see, if you're just listening to this on the podcast, I could be 6'4".
Mate, if you're just hearing this, I think you sound naughty. I mean, you sound like you could be capable of doing some things.
Doing some damage.
Yeah, well, yeah, not I'm going to say damage because this is a fan-friendly podcast, but doing some things.
Oh,
Down the football.
yeah, why not? Again, people can't see me, so why not?
I'm a big Spurs fan.
You are.
You're
But
Chelsea.
Be careful. Be very careful.
You're Chelsea.
There is only a table between us.
And what was the threat I gave you earlier?
You told me that when Chelsea play Tottenham at the new ground, doesn't apply to Wembley, but at the new ground, that I shouldn't go, or if I do go, I should be hiding from you if I see you.
Very quiet. You should be very quiet.
Yeah. Okay. It's advice that I would definitely live by.
Okay, good. I mean, if you're lucky, I mean, on a level outside football, we get on very well, don't we?
Yes, but just not on that day.
Today, we're going to be talking about Liverpool versus Chelsea mainly. We've got lots of other bits and pieces coming up, including soldiers lost in battle.
Oh yes, I love that.
That's everybody's favourite bit. I mean, those that are tuning in just for that, I'm not going to tell you where it is because you're going to skip straight to it and not listen to me and you talk. Which would be
Again, I understand that as well.
One for the Weekend is sponsored by FanLeague. FanLeague is a brilliant app, predictor app. You predict 13 results for the weekend. You can hedge, you can double hedge, and you get involved and predict. And if you win all 13 or 12 or 11, you get some money back. It's pretty good. And most importantly, there's like a community around it so you can chat to each other. And it's a lovely little app. And they're sponsoring us. And while they sponsor us, One for the Weekend will exist. So what you need to do is go into the description below and download the link. If you're listening on iTunes, open the App Store, download FanLeague, all one word, and get involved. Once you've done that, add James Alcott, who's the usual presenter to this, lesser presenter, but the usual one, and get him to add him as a friend, and he'll add you to the One for the Weekend League, where you can get involved in the banter and get involved in predicting the 13 results. Right. Yes, Liverpool versus Chelsea. There's a little bit of needle between the two clubs. They're not obvious rivals.
Yeah, it's one of those new rivalries that developed about a decade ago now. When Benitez was at Liverpool and when Mourinho was at Chelsea, we played each other so many times. It's a ridiculous amount of times.
It's the Champions League, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we played something like 40 times in 5 years. It was something. It really was ridiculous amounts. We were meeting in cup finals, we were meeting in cup semi-finals, we were in each other's Champions League group. There were the obvious natural fixtures that you have in the Premier League. So we played each other so many times, and it was so finely poised in all of the encounters that a natural rivalry was born. It isn't one that goes back years. It isn't one. It isn't sort of Chelsea Leeds that originated in the 70s or Chelsea Tottenham that originated, I think, around 67 that cup final. But yeah, I think if you're a Chelsea fan who's younger than me, a lot younger than me, sadly, Liverpool could well be up there for you at one of the teams that you look out for.
It's amazing how rivalries form in that respect, and often it is to do with what happens on the pitch. Yeah. I think the most fascinating rivals are the ones that have nothing to do with the football inside. So there's, Tottenham Arsenal is about them moving into the North London area.
Yeah.
Brighton and Palace.
Is that about the nickname? Like, is it genuinely about the nickname?
No.
It's seagulls versus eagles. It's like a bird fight.
No, not at all.
I mean, that's great.
And if it was, I mean, a seagull would absolutely kick the shit out of it. An eagle would kick the shit out of a seagull. Is what I was going to say.
No, but seagulls pack it up.
Yeah.
Seagulls hunt. They are pack mentality.
That's
always
true.
back the pack.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
All right, I'll think about that. The Brighton and Palace rivalry is actually about the rivalry between Alan Mullery and Terry Venables, which went back to the days when they played under Bill Nick in Tottenham's team. And one of them was made captain, which hurt the other one. They didn't really like each other.
No way.
So that needle just carried on and on. And
I love it, and it went through to the fans.
Yeah, well, Palace and Brighton played each other, and there was kick off, and Mullery did this thing like threw money at the can't remember which way it was, Palace fans,
Right.
and said that's what you're worth, kind of thing. So that's from there. Actually, we've got a documentary going out on Ball Street's YouTube channel.
Mate, I'll definitely check that out.
A couple of weeks
That's
time.
fascinating.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm always fascinated by these rivals, and I was kind of acutely aware of kind of Liverpool and Chelsea rivalry. I was just wondering what you thought about them now, but there you go. So Liverpool don't rank in your most. What are your three most hated clubs?
Well, Tottenham would be
Yeah.
the first fixture that I'd look out for.
Yeah.
Closely followed by Arsenal, and then it's probably Manchester United, I think.
Really?
Just because of the size of the club, and they've historically been our main rival. You know, Premier League era for sure. They've been our biggest rival, at least for trophies.
Yeah.
So I'd say probably those three in that order. But I'm going to have to do an honourable mention. Can I do an honourable mention? West Ham and Leeds United both get an honourable mention from me. They, Leeds United is one. It's just in you. I think Chelsea fans are brought up to have an antipathy towards Leeds, and I think it's completely mutual. I know for sure, like one of my good friends who plays for my football team, a Leeds fan. I think they sing about Chelsea every week, and Chelsea will do the same. So I like those rivalries.
That stems from the cup final, isn't it? The cup final that was absolute murders. If you ever get a chance, go on YouTube, look at the. It was
1970.
70. Is it 70? It was horrendous.
Yeah, you know, quite recently. Oh, I mean, within the last 10 to 15 years, they got. Do you remember the former ref David Ellery?
Yes.
They got David Ellery to watch the cup final, the second leg, the leg that was at Old Trafford, which eventually Chelsea won. They got David Ellery to watch it and ref it, and only 7 players finished the game.
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
Refing it on today's standards.
Yes,
yeah.
of course.
7 players finished the game.
Yeah, it was like Bremner, Chopper Harris.
It was Osgood up front. Yeah, David Webb got the winner. It was 2 teams full of hatred. They played at Wembley first. Leeds were very unlucky. We went up to Old Trafford and Chelsea won. But yeah, it was a huge event. And I think it's actually still the biggest sporting event ever watched on TV.
Really?
Yeah. I think the record for the how many viewers that game got has never been surpassed in Britain.
Bear in mind, there's only 3 channels.
There were only 3 channels, and it was when the cup final meant way more than it does now. Like the cup final at that point ranked only just below the league. Like if you didn't win the league and you did win the cup, it was huge.
Yeah.
So everybody was tuning in.
So obviously to the game this weekend.
Yeah.
If people, one of the games that people have to pick in the FanLeague app is Liverpool versus Chelsea. What way do you think they should bet?
Well, I obviously think they should bet for Chelsea, but I think it could go either way. I think Liverpool's home form is incredible. I think they've only conceded 1 goal there, and Chelsea's away form is also very admirable. You know, we've been playing very, very well away from home. No more so than just the other night when we put 4 past Karabag. It's so finely poised. It's so difficult. It's so difficult to predict anything here. But I think that Chelsea will win. I really do. I think that we're finding a bit of form now. Eden Hazard's playing incredibly well. We're looking very solid at the back. Andreas Christensen's a revelation. And no other reason, but we have to win. For us to have any chance of winning the Premier League, we've boxed ourselves into a corner. Because of results like Crystal Palace away, because of results like Burnley at home, we now have no option but to go to places like Anfield and win the game. Because, you know, usually, under normal service, a point at Anfield's a great result. But because of what we did at Selhurst Park, it isn't a great result. We have to win. And for that reason alone, I think generally speaking, in my Chelsea supporting life, when Chelsea have had to win, they have. And I think that we just have too much guile for Liverpool.
I think it's keeping their front line quiet, isn't it? It's got to be,
and exploiting their back line. It's a double thing.
Yeah.
Because obviously their front line, their front 4 is arguably the best in the league. I think
behind City's it is.
Yeah, and I think in Mo Salah, it's fair to say they had the signing in the summer.
Absolutely.
So keeping them off the ball means keeping our front players in possession. And if we do that, I think that we can really exploit what goes on at the back there. Because I'm not quite sure. For me, Dejan Lovren isn't good enough, and Alvaro Morata should really be able to exploit that. Their fullbacks have a propensity, particularly at left back, have a propensity to push on so far that Eden Hazard in this new role, you know, playing kind of wherever he likes behind Morata, means that he really should be able to exploit the space as they overcommit. Because at times Liverpool, you know, they look so mesmerising, so dazzling going forward, but it's kind of Henderson and a couple of defenders trying to sort it out at the back. And if you break properly, you can really do well.
Henderson completed 55% of his passes against Seville last week.
He completed. So only half of his passes.
Yeah, which shows you something about how much they are committing and how much pressure that Seville put on.
That's an atrocious.
No, it's a horrendous stat. Yeah, and it's terrible. I mean, for a player of his level. And England internationals are only completing just over half of the
Also,
passes.
he's playing in a position where you think a lot of his passes would be
short.
Yeah.
I mean, it may be that he might have been asked to be a bit more inventive,
but
I don't know, not that. I mean, even still, he shouldn't be hitting. He should be hitting way more than 57.
Yeah.
55. And Marino, obviously, down that left-hand side.
Moreno.
That's
where I think Chelsea can. That's where I think Chelsea can really do well. Because
how do you keep quiet? How do you keep quiet? Mane, Salah, Firmino's been excellent this season as well.
Well, I think what you do is you play.
We haven't even mentioned Coutinho as well.
Incredible. It's a problem. Yeah, it's a real problem. But I think what you do is you play the game away from them. Chelsea have to have the ball in our attacking third, so that the ball isn't around the likes of Salah. If you give them the ball, they'll score goals. There's absolutely no two ways about it. If you give Philippe Coutinho time on the ball, he'll score a goal. If you give Robert Firmino time on the ball, score a goal. So you can't allow them to have it, which means you have to play the game in a very offensive way, which could play into Chelsea's hands.
I think the way Spurs beat them, we beat them handedly 4-1 at Wembley, and that was about sitting back and countering when we had it, and the defence could not cope with that counter at all. So if Chelsea had been playing a counter this season, I think perhaps that might be the way to do it.
I think
Conte played a brilliant counter-attacking game for Italy during the Euros. So.
Yes, he did. Look, we can certainly do that, but also I think our defence deserves a bit of recognition here. I think Christensen playing at the back with presumably Gary Cahill, which wouldn't be my selection, but it will be Cahill, and then Cesar Azpilicueta. They've got a real good understanding now. It's looking solid.
Yeah.
Protected by Bakayoko and Kante. I'm not doubting Liverpool's brilliance. I'm not doubting their ability to play through Chelsea. It could happen, but they're really going to have to be on song, because that defensive five is going to take some breaking down. So I think that we can look after their front players, and if we do, with intelligent protection of the ball, the likes of Hazard and Morata really can do some damage to that.
What's happening with David Luiz? It's like there was this big fallout, or wasn't there?
There was
a big fallout?
fallout.
He started, didn't he, in the Champions League this week?
He did. He started in the Champions League, but that doesn't quite have. Starting in the Champions League sounds like a very glamorous thing.
Well, no, it's not.
But it's not. There's more to it.
It is glamorous, but it's not necessarily means that you're back in first.
Chelsea rested players for Anfield. We're playing. We had a 6-hour flight, which is huge. We played the day after Liverpool, and we're away at Liverpool. So Conte really did have to make full use of his squad, which I think he's done. But not playing Christensen and playing David Luiz is actually a glamorised V sign to David Luiz, because it proves that Andreas Christensen is our main man in that position.
Do you think there's any way of repairing that relationship?
No, I don't. I think the relationship could be repaired, but I don't think David Luiz gets back in the team, because you just can't drop Christensen. He's so good, Fred. He's like, he is the one shining example that I can give. You know when people slate Chelsea's youth policy?
Yes.
In fact, I know that Bull Street has previously, made videos about the youth policy and argued that it could be perceived as being a bit ridiculous.
I think
that's true.
I think what they meant. I think I know what you're talking about. And I think there was some issue around how ethical it is to stockpile young players.
I think there's credibility in that argument. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking the argument,
but
in its entirety. It suits Chelsea. But the argument in its entirety, suddenly Chelsea have a player in Andreas Christensen who has come into the side, having been on loan for ages. He was at Monchengladbach for a long time. They were desperate to sign him. He was playing in the Champions League. Suddenly, we've brought a player back from being on loan, and we've just adopted a world-class player. He's come into a team and taken over from David Luiz, who was arguably our best player last year. That is the youth policy. That is the zenith of the youth policy. That is it. That is the crown, the jewel in the crown. It's perfect. So Andreas Christensen is so good. He's so slight. He's not a big guy, but he can deal with aerial threats and strong, like the way that he looked after Romelu Lukaku the other week against Manchester United was a shining example as to how you defend against a player who is bigger and stronger than you.
And is it a choice between Christensen or Luiz?
Yeah, it's one or the other. Sadly, it's one or the other because David Luiz is a masterful footballer.
Yeah.
But it's one or the other. What I would like to do really would be play Christensen, drop Gary Cahill and play David Luiz. But I don't think you can do that.
Not in the. Was it he plays on the right hand side of the
left side?
Left side.
Yeah, left side.
Okay. Eden Hazard wants out of Chelsea.
No, it doesn't.
It's had enough. I'm going to read you a quote.
Okay.
So,
from who?
From Eden Hazard's mouth. Right?
From Eden Hazard's mouth.
Before you get all like,
sorry,
oh, he's not leaving because I love him. He loves the club so much. Have a listen to this. I want out of this cheap, horrible football club. It's time for me to go. Real Madrid want me. Fuck Chelsea, and especially that weird guy Rory Jennings. No, this is what he actually said. He said the moment to leave will be when I want to leave. He said to interview Canal Plus. I want to finish this year, and we will see what happens. Everybody knows the admiration I have for Real Madrid, but for the moment I am blue. Each year people say stuff about Eden, and each year I have always stayed at the club. When I was at Lille, people started saying PSG. I stayed at Lille. At Chelsea every year I'm mentioned with PSG or Real Madrid. If you want to see me go somewhere, you need to stop asking me. So he's on his way, isn't he?
I don't think that you can categorically
Adam,
say...
is he on his way?
He's obviously on his way.
He wants out.
Adam agrees. What's the price? No, I don't think it signifies that at all. I think naturally a player like Eden Hazard will hold a player like Zinedine Zidane in high esteem. So the thought of teaming up with his boyhood idol will obviously carry some weight. The allure of the Bernabeu is obviously massive. Of course, anybody given an opportunity, a whiff of playing in such a poignant stadium, will turn your head. However, you can't acknowledge all the things he says about Real Madrid and take that as fact, but then dismiss all the things that he says about staying at Chelsea. Dismiss it, like he says he wants to stay at Chelsea. He says he's a blue. He says he's happy in London. His family's settled.
All I'm asking you to do is read between the lines. Stop being so blinkered.
I just can't. Do you know part of the reason I can't see him leaving? The transfer fees have gone crazy, haven't they?
Yeah.
How much money would he go for now? Like, what sort of bid are Chelsea going to accept?
60? 50, 60 mil.
Are you joking? Do you think that?
Yeah.
No, let's put it in the context of Romelu Lukaku Romelu Lukaku went for what, 75?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
No, realistically, I'm being a dickhead. Hazard would cost, it's got to be, you're talking 200 in the current climate.
Yeah, I think ultimately he's going to be in the similar price range to what Neymar was sold for.
Yeah.
I don't know if Real Madrid would be happy to pay that.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think Real Madrid need him.
This is the thing with transfer fees, because they've gone so crazy, and some clubs are still finding a way to pay for them. There are
some people finding a way to pay for them. There are one club finding a way to pay for them.
PSG.
Yeah, a club bankrolled by a country.
And Man City will probably be able to find a way as well. But what I want to say is that it means that some players, because there's only a finite amount of players that these clubs can buy, some players are going to be priced out of the market completely, because there's no way of buying these players without being breach of financial fair play. And you could say, well, PSG have done it, but PSG still have to find £80 million to cover their deficit at the moment.
Yeah, which they will though.
Well, they will by selling free players.
I think that kind of thing is a formality, but I just firstly, Real Madrid to prize Real Madrid from Chelsea's hands is going to cost in the region. Sorry, what did I say?
Real Madrid from Chelsea's hands. Didn't make any sense.
Sorry, to prize Hazard from Chelsea's hands, Real Madrid are going to have to look to pay somewhere in the region of 100 million. Somewhere in the region of 100 million. Right. Do you pay 100 million pounds for a player who doesn't get in the side? So who do they drop from their starting lineup?
I don't know. Maybe Isco, although he's been playing brilliant this season. They've got this kid coming through, Asensio, who looks insane.
Well, exactly.
I don't know. Do they really need him?
Do they need him? Well, that's another.
I think what we will find with these transfer fees is a lot of players will start to run their contracts down, because they'll realise that no one's going to pay the money that it would cost to get them out of that contract. So you'll find big players refusing to sign contracts.
Which is the Arsenal issue.
Mm.
Yeah, but Hazard's well in contract. I don't think Hazard will leave Chelsea in the next two windows, which is January and then the close season.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
do you want to hear an absolutely mental statistic?
Always.
Liverpool have defeated 3 teams in the last 9 seasons of Champions League football, and they're clubs from Hungary, Bulgaria, and Slovenia.
What? They're the only teams that they've.
According to this tweet, I mean, yeah, I think
Who's a tweet? Wait, is it accurate?
Because
I can't just find any tweet.
No, of course, but I read the replies and it's accurate. Although they did beat a German side in qualifying for the Champions League one year, but in the actual Champions League itself, they've only won. They've beaten 3 teams. They may have beat that same team twice, but
so since they won it, they won the Champions League, is that when it's from?
9 years. 9 seasons. So
okay, they've been out of it a few years, haven't they?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So do you want to? Can you, for a bonus point
guess
or a point, guess one of them?
Okay, from what countries?
Hungary, Bulgaria, and Slovenia.
Maribor.
Yes, nice, good work. That was good. The other 2 are much harder.
Hang on, Ferencvaros?
No, never heard of them.
They're the Hungarian team that I know.
All right, but Bulgarian are kind of more well known.
Oh wait, Sofia?
No.
Don't know.
Ludogorets. And the Hungary team is Debrecen.
Okay, fine.
No, never heard of them.
Okay.
There you go, Liverpool.
They're going to get through their group then.
Pure game, yeah. I think they will. I think all five English clubs will probably get through.
Yeah.
It's going to be a weird one, isn't it? Because you can't play each other in the
next round. Well, the trouble is you can't play each other in the next round, which I think is a really interesting debate. Should that be scrapped? Because all you're really doing is giving English. It could end up very cluttered in the round after that.
It basically ends up English clubs having to face very good teams.
Yes.
Very, very good teams.
But I think also if all of the English teams then win, you're going to go into what? The last 5 English clubs.
Is it the last 8?
So we're in the last 16. You go through and you're in the last 16, right?
Could you imagine?
So
I don't think that can happen. I mean, it can happen, obviously, but
you think
some of one of us lot have got to face Barcelona.
Well, this is the problem. Chelsea, through some ridiculous, I have no idea how. It's just like a bit of luck. Are going to finish top of their group, which shouldn't be happening. Chelsea haven't had a great campaign, but we're somehow going to finish top of our group. Largely due to Atletico Madrid's inability to get it together, but then they pulled it out of the bag and beat Roma, which did us a massive favour.
Yeah.
But somehow we're going to finish top of our group, which I was thinking, lovely, that's sweet, we'll be in the last 8, anything can happen there. Looking at the teams that are going to finish second in their group, it's no bonus anyway. You could easily end up playing Bayern, Juventus, what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, you've got, you go out now or you go out for Spurs.
Barcelona and PSG are saying, who's it? Celtic?
We can't. Spurs, I don't know. Because
who's going to finish second in your group? Real Madrid?
Real Madrid second. Yeah.
So Real Madrid are another team that you could easily play.
You can get Real Madrid, yeah.
Sure. I'd actually quite like that. I'd weirdly like that.
Have you been to the Bernabeu?
No, Chelsea have never played in the Bernabeu.
Really?
Chelsea Football Club have never ever played in the Bernabeu.
So if you had to choose a stadium to visit in world football before you die, no shit, I've done that. Or you die, James would be upset that I hadn't done that yet. So which stadium?
It is that one.
It's the Bernabeu.
I've been all of the other stadiums that I'd really like to go to. I've seen England play in the Maracanã. I've seen Chelsea play in San Siro. I've never been to the Bernabeu.
The Bernabeu is the best stadium I've ever been in.
Really?
It is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And I don't really, because it looks quite modern and there's something in that, but it's gigantic. And you go in. Because you go in at street level, the whole stadium's sunken.
I love it.
It's actually, there's a tier.
So you don't have to climb loads of stairs when you get in. You have to climb loads of stairs to get out.
Yeah, I can't remember, to be honest. It was.
Is it central in Madrid, or is it an effort to get?
No, it's not difficult.
See, because the new Atletico, I went to Atletico earlier this season, middle of nowhere, barely in Madrid.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. It's a massive new stadium.
But the Bernabeu isn't that. The Bernabeu's easy to get to.
Yes, it wasn't too difficult.
Lovely.
As I remember.
Lovely.
So if you get them, it's a great trip. Obviously, Madrid's an amazing city.
Yeah. PSG are the team to avoid in that whole competition, I think.
Did you watch the Barcelona and Juventus game this week?
No.
So Iniesta got a standing ovation from the Juventus fans. What do you think of that? Got a gut feeling about how you might think?
I think there are certain exceptions where it's okay, and I think Iniesta is probably an example of that.
Because he's so good
he's so good, and it's certainly it's his last campaign. It's the last time that possibly the last time that PSG fans will have any. Who did you say it was again? PSG. No, Juventus.
Yes.
It's the last time that Juventus fans will have any interaction with him, unless they both get to the final. And I do understand it, but equally I do think that we're on there are certain things where sort of class act, #nice touch is becoming a little bit prevalent in football for my life.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. What about when you? I think I saw you do it actually. Somehow the camera passed around and you was on your seat at Chelsea. I think your top was off as well, and your arms were like out, and you was just doing this. You was clapping, and as Gerrard walked off the pitch, you was looking. Brilliant, Gerrard. You've had a great career.
Steven Gerrard did get clapped off. Chelsea played Liverpool towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was our last home game actually.
Yeah.
And Gerrard got a clap off at Stamford Bridge.
Why did you take your top off?
I didn't. My top was firmly on. I wasn't on camera that day, but I did give him a clap.
Oh, you did?
I did give him a clap. Yeah.
Why?
Steven Gerrard's been a wonderful servant
So
for the
what?
Premier League. He's been a wonderful player for England.
Rory, so what?
I would never clap. The game didn't mean very much either. He was taken off for a standing ovation. Steven Gerrard has been one of the. I followed England to 3 tournaments in which Steven Gerrard has played. I think he's been an incredible player.
I'm not impressed.
Would you not?
Absolutely not. I wouldn't clap anyone off.
So if Frank Lampard was taken off.
Oh, have a word. No way. No chance. No, not at all. Football's about rivalry. It ain't about celebrating another team's good play. That said, I'm being a bit of a hypocrite here because when Spurs played Dortmund in Dortmund, they beat us 3-0, and they were so good, like they wiped.
Oh no, you're not going to tell me.
I clapped the whole team off, all of them. And Matt Hummels, one of my nicest moments, gave me a lovely warm feeling inside, a little fuzzy feeling inside. Even the end of my willing tingled a little bit. I was clapping. It's like you had to admit greatness when it was evident.
I'm not sure that I agree with this point.
And Matt Hummels looked over, clapped his hands like that. Yeah, like that, did that. And that's how that's what I made.
You and Matt friends.
Lovely.
See, I don't think that's. I think that's different. Like Steven Gerrard playing against Chelsea, he was taken off. He hadn't played particularly well that day or ever against us. He's very different. I remember didn't Ronaldo.
If he hadn't slipped, would you have clapped?
Yes, I would have clapped irrespective of that. But I wouldn't clap him doing a brilliant thing against my club.
No, I know that.
Although saying that, I did clap Frank Lampard when he scored. I didn't celebrate the goal, but Frank Lampard scored for Man City against us.
You surprise me every day. You know that.
I didn't clap him scoring the goal. Obviously, we drew 1-1 that day. I think Schürrle scored for us.
You just literally said that you didn't.
No,
clap
what
him.
I was clapping is I was clapping his reaction. So he scored and immediately looked at. He was right in front of the away end. He looked at the away end and apologised. And I gave him a clap.
There's a lot of moistness in Chelsea, is what I'm saying, isn't it? If the players are moist, and some of the fans, not all the ones, not obviously. You know,
Trolling, get him.
Don't. I don't know. Sometimes when you can't help yourself, like I say with the Dortmund situation, it not just me, it was everybody.
I think there's something a little bit weird in that though. When a team is I remember Manchester United fans doing it to Ronaldo. Do you remember when Ronaldo scored a hat-trick at Old Trafford?
But Man United have got a kind of love in with him, haven't they? That's the thing.
Not that Ronaldo, no, the other guy.
Oh yeah, I see.
It's
like Pirlo, wherever he gets a standing ovation as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll tell you what. Should we have a little bit of Soldiers Lost in Battle?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Have you got the theme tune set?
Yeah, I'm going to set it up right now. Sorry, this isn't very professional, is it?
Oh, we've got it ready.
I have. Morning, boys. Big fan of the pod. Answering your call for fallen soldiers, but this one has a twist. Around August 2016, my family booked a holiday to Las Vegas for my sister's 21st birthday, and we were due to go on Sunday, 14th of May. Must be quite a wealthy family. My mum had even checked the fixtures to make sure that Spurs weren't at home, and I've been a season ticket holder for 10 years, and we were due to play United on Saturday 13th of May, which would have been the last ever game at White Hart Lane, so all seemed well. Then United progressed into the Europa League, and the finale of my spiritual home was moved to the day we were flying to Las Vegas, Rory. I was going to miss it all because of that bastard competition. I immediately called Virgin to ask about changing the flights, and they were saying it was going to cost over £600 to move the flights, and there was a large chunk of spending money I just couldn't afford. After a lot of agonising pleas on social media and begging for help in forums and even finding Virgin holiday employees who were Spurs, nothing could be done, and I decided I couldn't justify the cost, and I was gutted that I was going to miss the last ever game at the Lane. Then fate stepped in. The week before we were due to fly out to Vegas, my accumulator came in. I won over £500, and the first thing I did was get on the blower to Virgin and move my flights by a day. All was right in the world. I went to the last ever game at Lane with one of my oldest friends and enjoyed all of the emotion and went to Vegas and had a blinding time. So there you have it, a fallen soldier story with a happy ending. Not that kind of love. Cheers, Nick.
Very nice.
One more. I was in the shed watching the mighty Perth Glory. Yes.
The shed? What?
Yeah, in Perth Glory.
Can't do that.
I mean, well, they've got their own shed. You're spoiling the story.
Sorry.
This is from Callum George. I was in the shed watching the mighty Perth Glory. Yes, we still have a tin shed at one end of the field. A boring opening 30 minutes, we were 1-0 down and still hadn't even had a shot, so I went off to a beer only to discover I needed cash. Off I went to the ATM. Right as I put my card, I heard a roar, a deafening roar. We had scored. Not only had we scored, we'd scored a 30-yard screamer from a thunderbolt to level the scores with there being nothing but limbs going everywhere in the shed. And here I was fucking waiting for my money to come out of the ATM. We went on to lose 2-1. That was hard work. I don't know any games.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's good.
Chelsea playing Perth in the summer.
Oh, yeah. Are you going out?
I'm really hoping to.
Yeah?
Never been to Australia.
No, nor have I.
Never been.
Too many dangerous animals. Too many things that can eat you.
Yes.
That's my main problem with it, really.
Yeah, I understood. I share that fear.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get over it.
Finally, before we wrap up for the week, Everton give up on chase for silver. They're playing Southampton this...
I thought you were going to say silverware. I was
Silver.
like, yeah,
Shit.
Yeah.
Silverware. Management situation's still not sorted. It's completely madness.
I don't understand how you can have a manager in place, Ron Koeman, who, regardless of how it was going, is an established manager. He knows how to keep a club running. If you decide to sack him, which I'm not saying it's a wrong decision, but if you decide to sack him, do it when you know what's going to come next. Like, don't sack him and then go, right, we need him out, get him out, he's gone. So now you don't have a steady pair of hands on the controls. Now he's gone. Okay, now we should have a conversation about who we're going to get. It
is madness, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Unless the manager's actually done something that means you have to be removed from the club. But
they could have done it They could have done it a week earlier. They could have done it 2 weeks later. Ultimately, they had a frame of time in which they could operate in.
Yeah.
They didn't have to. It wasn't like they had to sack him that day and he was gone. The way that England sacked Allardyce. It wasn't a scandal. They could have done it whenever suited them. And they've done it. And what's going to happen now? Like, what is the answer here?
I think their pursuit of Silva is the correct manager. I just think obviously you'd be mad for Watford to let him go now. And what does it say about Silva? He's just going to jump ship the minute a bigger club comes along. But I think, and that's not to even say that he would even have gone there, but I think the situation is that they need to. This season's a write-off, despite spending 150 million. It's a write-off now. They need to stay in the Premier League, so they need an interim manager that will just do that for them.
Who's that?
That's a good question. I mean, Allardyce. What he said, I'm not doing it. You'd be hesitated. You obviously don't want me. They want it Silva by the looks of it, but
yeah, but Allardyce will get over. That's true. It is a slight on Allardyce's character, but I
said
guarantee that Allardyce will get over that if they have a conversation about his. If Allardyce has a conversation with Everton and Everton say to him, X amount if you keep us up, Allardyce will get over that hurt feeling. I guarantee you that.
Well,
if you want Allardyce, you'll get him. If you're prepared to pay him.
Yeah, I think his ego's been hurt. I think he doesn't like the fact that he wasn't first choice. Money solves problems.
Yeah. It's putting it in my pocket. You know, if I was wearing a blazer, I'd put the money in that pocket.
Have you ever done it to him?
No, I don't really carry cash. But if I did carry cash, that's where it would go.
I bet you got a money pin.
I'd love one. No, I don't. Like Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
I would love that, but no, I don't think. I would never have any cash.
Would you just?
I had an argument in M&S Victoria Station because I was trying to pay for some chewing gum on a card.
An argument with who?
The cashier.
What?
It wasn't working. He went, it's 50 pence. So he said, can you not just sort this out in cash? I said, no, I don't have any.
Yeah.
He said, well, the card machine's not working. We're at stalemate.
That's better.
We're
at stalemate.
Yeah, this is the problem.
And what happened? How did you resolve the situation?
I had to push in front of somebody, go into another line.
Right. So it wasn't a stalemate after all.
I think that pretty boring story. Sorry for that, everybody. I think that boring story proves that I'm not a man who would carry a money clip.
Well, no, you're not a man who would carry a money clip, but you saying cash is beneath you. You don't like touching it because other people do it and stuff like that. Like the plebs.
That's definitely what I was saying there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like carrying cash because it's beneath me.
Yeah, other plebeians have touched it. what it is. Everton are playing Southampton at the weekend.
Perfect fixture.
I can't think of a more boring game of football.
Perfect fixture for Everton, though. From Everton's point of view,
Southampton cannot score 9 goals in the Premier League this season. There was a bit of a goal drought towards the end of last season as well.
I don't quite know what. There was a time when Southampton actually looked quite lively up front. You know, when Shane Long was on form, when that Gabbiadini came in and was pinging them in around the time they played United in the Carling Cup final.
That's right.
It was quite a good time for them, and you know they seemed quite a dangerous team. That's certainly not the case.
Pellegrino's come in and he's just boring everyone to death, isn't he?
Yeah, it hasn't gone to plan. But from Everton's perspective, this is an ideal. If they don't get a result now against Southampton, then they are like I think at the moment the general consensus of football fans say Everton aren't going down.
Yeah.
If they don't get a result against Southampton, then I would say they're in a dogfight.
Yeah, I think they're in the dogfight. That's it. But
they're not though.
Their quality is so significantly better than all the other teams down there.
And there's so many. If you look at the Premier League table now, there's so many average teams. Like you know now you're mid-table in the Premier League. If you're averaging a point a game.
Yeah.
So if you're on 12 points, say you're a little bit better than a point a game, say you're on 14 points after 12 games, you're looking at getting in Europe. Previous years, you're going down.
But this is so much to do with the quality of the top 6 side now, and that league, that top 6 league, or top 6 league this season, is so strong compared to the rest of the league.
But the rest of the league's so bad. Like I'd say anybody 8th or below is going to be, is in contention to get relegated.
At this stage of the season.
Yeah, like Newcastle United on mid-table. I think Newcastle United, of course, I don't think they're going to go down, but it wouldn't surprise anybody if Newcastle did go down. They're a newly promoted side.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you're a fan of Chelsea, a big club. I'm happy to admit that. Yeah.
Thank you.
The Spurs are a big club. You should be happy to admit that.
I am.
Right. Do you ever think what it must be like for them people that just follow tin pot clubs?
I'm sure they don't.
Like, what do they get out of it?
Give me an example of a club.
Brentford. Tin pot. Well, or Aston Villa. There used to be a big tin pot now.
There'd be a significant percentage of Aston Villa fans who will have seen their team win the European Cup. So they're all right. Okay. They're happy.
All right.
But
Southampton, tin pot. What's the point?
I think Southampton.
What about if they just remove all football teams other than the top 6 out of football? Like just
actually create that European Super League.
Yeah, but don't allow anyone else to play football. Just keep the top.
So basically, there's 6 clubs in England.
Yeah. Right, and
6 clubs in Spain.
All of the other football, just amateur football, no coverage, no football, no money at all. Just have a top 6
that play each other 4 times a season.
Yeah, maybe 6 times. People want to see it. They love the drama of it, the big games.
Chelsea play Tottenham 6 times a season.
Yeah. Chelsea, Arsenal, and then we just forget about all these to do against.
What you need to do is you need to write this up as a proposal.
Yeah.
And send it to the FA.
Yeah.
Say, let's just abolish Birmingham City. They're out. They're gone.
Yeah, they're definitely
Queen's Park Rangers.
Walsall,
no such thing.
Walsall gone. All of them gone. All there is top 6. No one's interested.
So what? Like one club in Birmingham then? You just none?
No clubs. No football anywhere apart from the top 6. That's it. No relegation. No. I'm obviously joking, but the Sky Sports would have that. They'd be all over that if they had the opportunity.
Yeah. I think Sky Sports would like the idea of that, but it certainly doesn't appeal to me.
No, I'm only joking. I'm all for low league football.
Yeah.
I actually look enviously on Adam sometimes because Adam goes Brentford a lot with his mates, and they go and they love it. Sometimes there's so much pressure. There's so much media attention on your football club that sometimes you forget. That
football's not fun. Football's not fun for a team like either of us.
Because it's just so much pressure.
Yeah,
every single game is like you have to win it. Whereas, I just want to make the point. There's something beautiful about just going and watching your team play
this is it.
with your mates with a few beers.
Do you remember the year it was 2 years ago when Chelsea finished 10th in the league, and our season was like by this point in the season. It wasn't over because we were in a relegation fight. By January, it was over.
Yeah.
We weren't going down. We weren't gonna.
Did you find much more relaxed?
Well, it was. Do you know what? I remember we played Sunderland away very late in the season. We lost 3-2. Jermaine Defoe scored, and that day actually, Sunderland beating us relegated Newcastle, so it was like quite a buoyant day out there. But I went to that game. The game meant absolutely nothing from a Chelsea fan's perspective. We were winning, then we lost, and there was something quite refreshing. I wouldn't swap. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think that the tense atmosphere that where everything rides on a game is brilliant at Stamford Bridge. I love it. But there was something quite refreshing about going to the football, having a few beers on the train up to Sunderland or up to Newcastle, having a few beers in Sunderland, heading over to the game. There was something mildly refreshing about it. It didn't matter.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and it's good.
But compare that. Compare that. Me going to Sunderland with a couple of mates, or we played Villa. We beat Villa 4-0. They were already down, I think. Went up to Birmingham, whatever. Compare that to losing 1-0 at the Nou Camp and bringing Barcelona back to Stamford Bridge. It's incomparable.
No, it is incomparable, and it's an amazing experience to have that. Similar, like comparing that to beating Real Madrid.
Exactly.
So I understand that, but I think sometimes with the amount of pressure that's on football and the success being so important, that sometimes the fact that it's about connection with your family and your friends and
no, that all goes out the window.
Okay.
That all goes out the window.
Of course.
Winning. Yeah, I don't go to Stamford Bridge to do any of that anymore.
This is just ending this. The One for the Weekend is sponsored by FanLeague. Please go and download the app. If you're one of the people that are remaining are still here, you're obviously a fan of the podcast, so do us a favour, go into the description, or if you're listening to it, go into your app store, download the FanLeague app and get involved. Join our league, One for the Weekend, add James Alcott, and then you're in. Rory, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I have loved talking to you.
It's been great.
Yeah. And we'll see you next week.
Download the app and join today.